Good morning. I'm Anna Marie de la Vega. Thank you for joining us. This is Focus. Today, we're going to talk about an amazing resource you may not have realized is right here in our own community. It's called Goal Collective, and our guest today is Dr. Ameshica Linsey. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Anna.
First of all, what is Goal Collective? Let's hit that briefly.
Sure. So Goal Collective, which I'll back up a minute, Goal means growing opportunities for adult learners. It's a group of over 30 adult education providers collaborating in design and technology to build a central network with shared data and streamlined referrals to ultimately create a system that will be better able to serve learners and the agencies that support them.
So what does that mean in our English?
Yes. So we are working together, collaborating to make sure that there are equitable opportunities for all adults in Nashville or in surrounding counties who are looking for services. And we wanted to design a system for that. So if you think about it, there are systems for K through 12, systems for college, for adult education, which is anything that's outside of the K through 12 arena. This is a system that we're building so that there are opportunities and a streamlined place for adults to look for services.
So services meaning if we want to learn more, we want to expand our lives, we want to learn new skills, we want to maybe get a GED, want to learn things to make our lives better. This is a place for adults to learn.
Yes,
to learn languages.
Absolutely. Services. So partners in the collective, they offer those services. So we have partners that offer tutoring services, ESL classes, high school equivalency, career readiness classes. So all the things that would help an adult increase their educational attainment.
You have an event coming up that we need to let our listeners know about.
And it's called the Never Stop Learning event. Obviously, as a collective, we want to encourage lifelong learning. So this is an event that's out there. We're going to have it on February 22nd at the Madison Branch Library. And it will be free to all adults. And they will come and just connect with programs about things like high school equivalency, ESL classes, other services that they may need. We will have navigators to assist them with helping them identify their educational visions and then document challenges that they may have faced in pursuing their educational careers and try to match them to programs that would help reach those goals, whatever those are.
And is it free?
Yes, it's free for everyone to come and attend. We'll also, I wanted to touch on it, we'll have community partners like American Red Cross, Vita Tax Services, also giving tax preparation information, financial literacy. So we're trying to pull community partners in to also give them those services free of charge as well.
The American Red Cross, I believe, is going to give them disaster preparedness info, things that people don't think about, but need to know to make their lives better.
Exactly.
Okay. So let's dig in a little deeper to what Goal Collective does. This is a collaboration of different organizations in our area to offer different things. Could we kind of look at some of those services and those organizations that we'll encounter with Goal Collective?
Sure. I'll just talk about the adult education piece a little bit first because it does impact every part of Middle Tennessee. We think about community employment rates, poverty levels, healthcare costs, K through 12 performance. So all those things are very essential to our community, and we want to make sure we're doing things to help enhance those. Yeah. So Goal Collective comes in and tries to revolutionize the landscape by having those partners establish vital connections among the providers, and then we do data collection so they're able to make continuous improvement in programs that they're offering the learners in our city.
Tell me what that means.
So say, for instance, we did, with the data we collected, we found out that there was a high demand in ESL classes. So English as a second language. Yes. And so with that data, we were able to see, hey, the wait list is over 1,500 waiting for services in Davidson County. So that's huge, right? Yeah. And so we have been working together to increase capacity so that more programs are able to serve those learners who are waitlisted. We have also been working together as a collective to create new programs where while they're on the wait list, they can learn. And so we have programs like that to help them, because what we don't want learners to do is get discouraged because I'm on a wait list, I'm not learning, I don't want to take the class, forget about it, So because they've taken the time to say, I want to enroll somewhere to learn English, we want to make sure we're able to serve them. And without the data that we collected as a collective, we probably wouldn't have had this information. So this allows us to improve those services.
Wow, that's great. Okay, so other adult educational help.
Tutoring. Tutoring is a big one. We have students who need to get their high school equivalency. And so we have programs that are offering tutoring. There's a test they have to take. So they are preparing them for the test so they can pass. Right. So that's a service. Career readiness, getting them ready for a job. Education, from education to work is a pathway. And so if you're going to get a certification or get your high school equivalency, the next thing you're probably going to want is a better job. And so we have groups who are involved that come in and give those services as well, so they're prepared for the workforce. Yeah. And some of the groups that I mentioned when I talk about ESL classes, we have the Nashville Adult Literacy Council, Career Readiness, Uprise Nashville. The Branch is a group in Nashville who are giving services, ESL classes, and they're also doing a food bank. So giving out food, helping with those basic needs. So, yeah, because if you're going to go to class, I can't really focus if I'm hungry. So we have groups like that within the collective that are really looking at it as a holistic approach and trying to help a learner in every aspect to have success.
Yes. And especially because if you're trying to work your job or two jobs and then go to class, then food is probably going to be an issue, maybe even just for your family. So if you can get hooked into all of the resources you need in this area, and that area, then you're freed up a little bit more to learn.
Yes. And that's absolutely what it's about, because you talk to people, and I've seen this in departments, corporate departments. You know, you have people down the hall, you don't know what they're doing. And so in our community, you have so many organizations you are up the street from you don't know what they're doing, you don't know what they're offering. Right. And so building this network help people come together and say, oh, they're offering these services. If I have a student who needs childcare and food, they would go to this organization. We think that without a network like this, you couldn't have those relationships to be able to do that.
No, because people don't know where to start.
Right.
If I maybe can find one organization that can help me in one way, but they don't know about you who could help me in another way, then I get help there. And then I'm stuck trying to look for something else. This is beautiful. This is trying to make it easy because there are so many organizations.
Yes.
But if you don't know, well, this one I think I've heard you have to pay, blah, 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 then you don't step out. You just keep doing what you do and you don't further yourself.
Absolutely.
Now, you say students. Is that of a certain age?
Well, we look at it as adult education, as I mentioned before, anything outside of that K through 12 window.
If I'm 40?
Yes. No matter what age, you're able to go back and take advantage of these services that we have to offer.
So I want to get my high school equivalency degree, and then I might want to take a class to better myself at this or get a certification for something, and then work on getting another job.
Yes. And goal is helping with that pathway, because one thing about, achieving something, you achieve it and then you may feel like, I don't know where to go from here. Yeah. You're in the collective. The learner is in the collective. The agency where they got the HSE is in the collective, which is the high school equivalency. Oh. And so you're in the collective. And so we're there to help you with that next step, creating that pathway. So it's not hard because we have a network built. And we have organizations that are there, they may not do basic HSE classes, but they do career readiness classes after you've done that. So we know that there's a pathway to go where you get that, and now we're going to help you get to the next stop. Because again, not having the help you need and feeling like you can't get to the next piece is a part where we see some adult learners fall through the cracks.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I love that you call it a pathway, because for most adults, it's not a path. It's just, here's a step. And then I don't know where to go from there because there's not a clear path. So you're like, oh, you just got that. Now, here are your options. Here's a path you can choose to go to where you want to go. You figure out where they want to go first, or do they even know?
We see both. Sometimes they come in and they know that they want to make a better lives for themselves, but they may not know where to start. Yeah. And so we have people in our collective, partners, agencies, that help them make those decisions. And then we have people who may do that first step and they say, well, I don't think I could get a post-secondary or a community college certification. But we say you can. We have this network and these relationships where people can help you. And so we might sometimes share, what the next step could be. Yeah. But we let a learner determine how they want to create the path for themselves. And we've seen a lot of adults feel really confident about the network that we've built so that they can move from place to place. One thing that Goal has really been working on are referrals. We all make referrals out. We'll tell somebody, hey, call this number and you can get XYZ. But with the collective, we wanted to do it based on relationships. And so with those referrals, we call them warm referrals, because we have a relationship and we're able to hand you off to a person that we know that will take care of you and help see you through. Right. And so with this, our goal is just to try to automate that and make it more streamlined. So it's easy for adults to move from place to place. Our vision is to get the right learner in the right seat at the right time, achieving success. That's the vision. And that's why we've created all these tools that would help enhance that journey for a learner.
In the big picture, why is this good for our community to do this?
It's good for our community, for one, to collaborate, because there are many benefits in doing that. When you collaborate, you know what people are doing. It helps increase capacity. It reduces replication. You don't want to keep recreating the wheel. If there are programs that exist already, why not just refer them out? Yeah. So it helps the community in that. And then it also helps the community know that, our impact together is better than the impact alone. We have individual agencies doing the work every day, but when you pull all those together and all the different diverse background and the different expertise perspectives.
If you're just joining us, this is Focus. I'm Anna Marie de la Vega, and we're talking with Dr. Ameshica Linsey about the Goal Collective, and GOAL standing for
Growing Opportunities for Adult Learners.
What else might people find if they go to Goal Collective to look for some ways that might make their lives better?
Sure. I would like to talk about something we launched last year. It's called a searchable service directory. And on our website, it says Find Services. We wanted to launch this so that we can enable providers and learners to swiftly locate services with specific attributes such as geographic location, in-person classes. And so they're able to go in and search what they're looking for. Yes, with this, this was a significant milestone in adult education because we have had search directories, but not ones where you can put in distinct criteria. Because if you're looking for a class that also offers childcare, you can put that in. Because we want to try to eliminate as many barriers as we can to an adult learning as possible, because we know that a lot of those barriers exist.
Right. Here's a learning opportunity. There's 10 of them. Let me have to call them all. Let me reach out to them all and ask, do you also provide childcare? Big barrier.
Yes.
I love that. And it's called a what? A searchable
Find Services directory. And that's on the Goal Collective's website. Plenty of buttons everywhere so that you can put that criteria in and search some of the services that you're looking for.
So Goal Collective is what you're going to Google to start with or search for and find, and then the world opens up to you.
Yes. I'd like to just mention what we've seen as a collaborative, and how it's been instrumental in working together. I mean, we always know that there are some big issues out there that takes time. And we know that sometimes our systems don't always, do the work to make sure that those things are taken care of. And so with the collective, what I say when I mean that is we took it upon ourselves to come together and try to narrow some of the gaps. I'm not saying we're closing the gaps, but we're trying to narrow them and then make it a better space for adults to learn.
Now, what are you talking about, the systems and the gap?
Many people don't have the opportunities, that other people have. And so when I talk about equal equity, it means that we are trying to make sure everybody is on the same playing field. And that if that means giving them a stipend to get a certification, if that means giving them a bus pass, whatever it is that we can do to make it an equitable playing field for them, we're wanting to do that as a collective. And sometimes it takes that because the system, everybody is not treated fairly in the system. Yeah. I think we all can agree to that.
Right.
And so this is when this type of work comes into play to ensure that equitable access.
Yes, there might be a class across town, but I can't get there because I don't have transportation.
Yes, and many people in the collective have programs like the Tennessee Promise, Tennessee Reconnect, where folks can get resources to do some of these things. And that's what, again, we're meaning creating pathways and opportunity for equal access for everyone.
Including the language barrier.
Yes.
Because that's a big one.
That is a big one.
Yeah.
It is a big one. And in the collective, people sometimes see it as you're collaborating, but what else is happening? New programs are emerging. One thing that we did together was create a partnership between TCAC Nashville, which is our Tennessee College of Applied Technology, Catholic Charities, which is another group that offers resources to the community, and then TCAS and Tennessee College of Access and Success Network. They came together and created a program where undocumented students could get a certification. I think it's in 8 weeks for construction, and they give them a stipend. They help them with the resources they need to take the class. They help them get there, the transportation. So pretty much creating programs like this that would really help a student thrive in getting some type of certification to get a better job out there.
I think you're excited about this, aren't you?
Yes, I am. I'm really excited about it because, it's one thing, I've been in the K through 12 space and I've seen the need from parents when I talk to them. I used to teach. I used to lead a literacy organization where it helped children with low literacy rates. And I had parents to come to me and say, please don't call on me. I can't read. And so I know how important it is for them to get what they need and to make sure that it's one of those processes that's not going to put them to shame.
Yes.
That's going to embrace them and their courage to come back and learn, whether that's getting their HSE or just saying, I want to learn how to speak English so I can read a book to my grandchild.
Yeah.
All of that is super important. And that does make me excited because it's a full circle moment to see adults get resources, because this is a sector that's often overlooked.
I used to teach English as a second language for the Salvation Army. They had ESL classes. And I noticed that a lot of the people would get there after working a second job. They'd bring the kids. Everybody was hungry. So I started taking food. And this is like one little group trying to take care of a lot of different needs. So I started bringing food, started bringing, stuff like that for the family. Like, here, take sandwiches home, do this. But also some of the things that they wanted to learn just to live their lives. Like, one guy was the foreman of a construction group, but he wanted to be able to ask for a raise. And his boss only spoke English. His boss knew, you can handle all of this work, but he said, I would like to ask for a raise because I take care of everything. But he didn't know how to say it in English so his boss would understand. And I was like, this is beautiful.
Yes.
What else might people find through Goal Collective?
I just think they would find a lot of people, are interested in how we've been able to partner in this way. Mm-hmm. And so I would say to anyone who's looking to partner, with coming into the collective, we're able to really share the benefits of the work that we've done together. We've seen what it can do in our community. And so we encourage, other sectors. This is adult education, but I think they can find a lot of insight from us on how we've collaborated, how we've been able to see some of the transformations that we've seen within the collective. So we're always open to share that collaboration and see this model replicated in another sector of our community.
So what are you saying that another organization or nonprofit should do? We do this, Goal Collective.
So organizations, say, for instance, we'll just say childcare. We know that that's a big thing. And we know that there are collectives out there that are helping. Mm-hmm. But they could also look for tangible things like we've been looking for with this event, this Never Stop Learning event, putting on some of those things together. We feel like that's a great way to show the community that we are not just working together behind the scenes, but we're coming out into the community with something you can see to better serve learners. So this event for us signifies all of the people who are at the table coming together to provide what could be really beneficial to the community.
And the event we're talking about is the Goal Collective holding
Never Stop Learning.
A Never Stop Learning event in which many of the different organizations were represented and all in one place. So you go to the event and you learn about a lot of them.
Yes. And so that just landing back to be open to collaboration.
Yeah.
Open to others' ideas so that we can better serve whatever population, whatever goal we're trying to achieve. We see that you can do it more effectively together.
Yes.
Yeah.
More effectively, more efficiently, maybe even less money spent on this is not as vital.
Yes,
perhaps.
That's a part of it too. Like you said, pooling resources, all those things, because you're working together, are further enhanced.
That's great.
Yes. I was going to say, I would just like to say, when we talk about community collaboration, community involvement, just cannot be overstated. It takes all of us. And so anyone who's hearing this, who may be a volunteer, who may have an interest in adult education and seeing adults thrive, please reach out, because again, we can't do this alone. And so having the engagement of the broader community means so much to us, because we need it in this. The climate is different. And so navigating that with everyone who has a passion for this type of work only makes it much more impactful for those learners that we serve. So, we like to offer that opportunity.
So navigating this environment, meaning what?
Just different barriers. The transportation, not having childcare, not having the money to learn, all the things. And so as we come together, because we need volunteers to teach sometimes, because funding is an issue, So if you are someone like you, Anna, who used to teach ESL, if you could, volunteer in some of these different places, it would really make a difference as well. And so that's what I mean when I say coming together, looking at resources, all those things, because we want to really navigate it together. We don't know. Funding is always tricky. Programs are concerned, that they may not have the funding that they need. And so opening this invitation to the community who may have some ESL background, some HSC background, or just time to contribute to the cause, to me, it's an amazing thing.
There are a lot of business leaders, a lot of people who are former teachers who have skills that they could bring to the table. But I like the fact that you're thinking of them as resources rather than here's what we've got and here's what we're offering. It's like, you got some skills. You got some skills. You bring some stuff to the table and help.
Oh, yes. And I can squeeze skills out of anyone. I am happy to do that.
She squeezed it out of me. Well, what else do people need to know about Goal Collective?
I think from the collaboration perspective, a lot of people think, the collective is bringing people together, and we may not be as impactful as a direct service organization, meaning that we're not giving things out daily to learners. Yeah. But we're working at a larger scale where we're collaborating and bringing all those who are together. And we're also creating some technology tools that will impact the community on how we're serving learners, whether that's that Find Services directory, whether that's that warm referral automated system that we're creating, shared data. All of those things are very, very impactful when it comes to trying to identify any gaps, any obstacles that we would need to address in the future when it comes to adults thriving. Sometimes adults start a program and they don't finish. Why? Research and data will show us why. As we collect data, yes, we can see, why did this person start and they weren't able to finish? Was it because they couldn't find childcare? Was it because they didn't have the time? Was it because work wouldn't allow them to take off to go to a class? Yeah. So all those things are just kind of helping us evolve in how we roll out services for the community. So
Goal Collective partly is a database, a data source.
Yes, it is.
To improve what we do in the future.
Yes.
But also, you said what'd you call it?
Warm referrals.
What is that?
So the referrals, when you, like I mentioned, a person coming to me saying, I need ESL classes, but I also need childcare. I also need access to bus passes. My organization doesn't offer that, but I know one up the street where I can make a referral in the system that's been created. This is not finalized yet, but we have everything being implemented now, the design. I can send you an automated referral and give them your information and get you some help.
Whoa.
See? Yeah. So, we are doing that now. We make referrals all the time. We say, go to this program. But this way it's documented. This way we're able to close that loop of communication. Did this person ever get help? Like, I talked to somebody the other day and just said, hey, call this program, but I have no way of going back to check the status of that.
Yes.
So with this system, our hope is that we can close the loop on that communication. Did this person get help? And if they did not, we need to go in the system and make sure we're sending them somewhere else where they could get help.
So, they didn't just hit a dead end for some reason.
No, they didn't hit a dead end. That's what we want to eliminate.
Dead ends.
Yes.
And keep the path flowing.
Yes. Because an adult, it's already, like I said before, it's huge for them to make up in their mind that I'm going to go back and do this. And if I'm trying to get somewhere and I never get a call back, I'm just going to get discouraged for the most part. And if I'm not discouraged, I'm going to say, maybe later down the road, I'm going to kick the can down the road. And who knows when later will come.
Yes.
Our goal is to encourage them. And so by putting these tools in place, we are making that process streamlined and easier for them to get where they need to be.
If you're just joining us, this is Focus. I'm Anna Marie, and we're talking today with Dr. Ameshica Linsey about Goal Collective and how it brings all of the resources together that it does that you can take advantage of, that you can learn from, that you can find to help your situation in your life. Are there others besides the adult learning? Like you mentioned, childcare and food maybe and things like that. Are there other challenges that we're facing that Goal Collective is able to point people to get help?
Outside of that, I would probably just say transportation. Also we see a lot of mental issues in this environment. Folks who may have had, trauma around learning in school. You don't know what their story is, but they're not able to let go of the fear to move forward. And fear holds you back in life. I think we all know that. Fear is something that if you can't get over, it will hold you back. And so seeing some of that fear, hearing some of the agencies tell me that I've had a person, they've come to me 3 times, but every time they're close to the finish, they quit. And so that lets us know that we need to look at some of the mental health things so that we're able to help them grasp the fact that I may be coming out of what I'm used to, and that's okay. Meaning I'm trying to make a better life for myself. So that's one thing that we've noticed also in this arena, that, it's not just I don't have the willpower to do it. I have some things that are happening, inside that are holding me back. And so that's a big one for us too, because I think people overlook the fact that adults can be scared, you know?
Oh yeah.
It's fear can hold you back from achieving some of the dreams that you have because of history.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a very forward-thinking approach, because in a lot of cases, not all cases, of course, but in a lot of cases, I feel that people are stuck in the place they are because of lack of role models in life, lack of safe adults in their lives as they grew up, and kind of have that childhood trauma that they're trying to overcome. And like, there's the fear of this and there's the fear of that. And I've never been taught how to do this, how to get my clothes ready for the next day, how to make my lunch, how to get up and be on time. And they've not learned that, or they have the childhood trauma that's holding them back from learning that. And to bring in the mental health issue, I think is brilliant.
Yes. And sometimes it can be cultural. You know, I remember teaching, I had a student, he knew all of the answers, but he just wouldn't write it down. He didn't want to get an A. That wasn't cool, you know? So, you know, yes. I would be just like, you have the answers, you know what you're doing. Why don't you just put it on paper? But to him, you know, that wasn't an important value for his family or where he's from. And so he decided that he wouldn't do it. You know, I do know these answers, and I could see him coming along, enjoying participating. This was a high school course once. And so he decided that, hey, this is not what I want to do.
Wow.
Again, that cultural, that mindset, that type of thing can really hinder a person's desire to move forward.
Yes. Yeah. Or to move forward in a way that might help them financially and emotionally in their lives.
Yes, absolutely.
Whoa. Do you have some examples of maybe people who have kind of moved through this path and gotten further than they thought they could before they came in?
Yes. I mean, we hear stories all the time from many of our agencies who are partners in the collective. We actually had one speak at an event we held. We also always hold in October a community networking luncheon where people come together and they hear about goal and they talk about some of the successes. Well, the learner who spoke that day, she talked about the challenges that she faced, you know, with having a child and not feeling like she could go on. And so having these programs, and she talked about knowing that there's a network out there that are really working hard to make sure opportunities exist for them, was really impactful to her. You know, she cried because it was so emotional to know that, hey, I didn't get my high school diploma, but I desired to. And I went into one of these programs and I had a teacher to say, I won't let you quit, you know? And so to hear that story for us all was just like, wow, this is seeing an adult overcome the fact that I know that I have to get food on the table, I have to pay bills, yet I'm still going to put my education first. And so to hear her success story was so amazing to all of us, because it takes that person, and adults need that. I'm always really advocating for adults to say, even though you might not have to talk to them as much as you do students in elementary school, they still need that encouragement, that pouring into, because again, you never know what held them back in the first place, what missed opportunity landed them where they are. And so having that extra push and knowing that there's a collective of people fighting for equity, making sure that you have opportunities, is something to take advantage of and be proud of.
And to know that there might be more in life, better in life, that this is just not how it is and how it's always going to be.
Right.
Because I think some people don't even look ahead. They're like, this is how I'm just nose to the grindstone every day, instead of thinking, one day, if I did this, I could do that.
Yes.
They can't even go there until maybe they take that first little baby step and get some encouragement.
Yes. And that's what it's all about, you know, taking that first step. And within the collective, we see people taking those steps, and it's our job and responsibility and our goal to make sure that they are being able to be served to the best of our ability. And that means creating pathways, creating new programs, whatever it is that's going to get them to success is important.
Anything else, Doctor, that is important to add that I've neglected to ask? Anything else that you want our listeners to know about?
I just say anybody, again, who's listening, who may be knowing of adults who wants that extra push, reach out. You know, our website is goalcollective.org. We have socials, Goal Nashville. Please reach out to us and we can get you in the right place. We have staff who can answer any inquiry. And if you're looking for a certain service, we can try to get you there. And so we'd love for people to utilize those resources in the community, the Find Services directory, all those things. If you know someone, if you want to get back into the swing of things when it comes to reaching your goals as an adult, please reach out to us at Goal Collective.
GoalCollective.org.
Yes, growing opportunities for adult learners.
Dr. Ameshica Linsey, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Please make sure you join us again next week. I'll make sure there are links and more information posted on our Focus Facebook page. I'm Anna Marie. Let's focus.